Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, or whatever time that you are watching this video. So happy Sunday. I hope that you are having a good weekend so far. So if you don't know me already, or if this is your first time watching this video, I'm Nurse Choma, and I am the founder of this page. And I am a NCLEX prep coach, meaning that I help nurse graduates to pass their NCLEX exam. And a little bit about my story is that I am a registered nurse. I've been a nurse for over 7 years. And, what really led me to want to specifically help nurses is because I recognized that I recognized the shortage, that was happening. But then during that time, when I was working, and then I began to explore like how I can make a bigger impact, a bigger difference in people's lives. That's when I began to discover that there were people who had went through nursing school, graduated, got their degree, but then couldn't pass their exam. And I felt like there was something completely wrong with that story, and it made no sense to me why I was seeing this happen. Not like a couple of people, but a lot of people. And since I've been doing this, I've been discovering more and more people who are having this problem, and people literally from as early as 1996. Or some people from 2002, 2007 that cannot pass their NCLEX exam, and there's so many different factors that goes into the reason why, but that's pretty much my passion, and this is the reason why I do what I do. So I help people pass their NCLEX exam, whether it's your RN exam or your LPN exam. This is what I'm passionate about doing and what I'm good at. A lot of people, it's good to have something passionate about, but it's also really good for you to be good at it too, right? So if you're just joining, I see people coming on, go ahead and let me know that you're here. I would love to greet you, and meet you for the first time. Thank you for taking time out of your Sunday, on an afternoon or morning to watch me, and to listen to what I have to say. And hopefully, I believe, once you listen to this, you're gonna get some new insights. So welcome, Claire. Awesome, good to see you. I believe it's gonna be eye-opening. I bring eye-opening information. That's what I'm here for. Things that you would have never learned or never discovered in different places. So let me go ahead. So welcome to those of you that joining, those of you that shy, whether you've been taking the NCLEX exam. Good morning, welcome, DJ. Whether you just finished or you have been trying to pass and you can't pass, this is going to be relevant to you. It doesn't matter what situation that you're in. It's going to be extremely relevant to you. So as you saw in the title today, what I'm talking about is the biggest myths about the NCLEX exam and why they're not true. Okay, why they're not true. And I'm going to be addressing specifically those who have been struggling to pass the exam, and hopefully this will give you some insight and some understanding about why. So thank you for the likes already. If you can share too, I would love it if you can share. We're going to be on for a little while, and I'm going to talk about this with you. So thank you for coming on. Marilyn, good to see you. Okay, so let me go and get into it. All right. So the first one, number one. So I'm going to give you three. Thank you so much for the hearts. I'm going to give you three myths. Okay. So what is a myth? A myth is something that a lot of people believe, but it's not really true. That's what a myth is. It's like what a lot of people believe, but it's not necessarily absolutely true in a lot of situations. So the first one is, number one is that studying with books is effective. Let me put that in the chat box as well. And if you're just coming on, thank you for coming on. Thank you for watching. Studying with books is effective. So let me talk about this, okay? Let me really address this from different standpoints. Now, the first thing I will say, there are absolutely a lot of people. There's some people that I know. I even seen on Amazon, people who have, bought a comprehensive review book and passed their exam, and and put their reviews and everything, which is wonderful. But I'm going to talk to the percentage of people who did the same thing and it hasn't worked for you. Here's the thing. This is one of the reasons why books is not necessarily extremely effective, especially if you have not been successful, especially if you're a repeat test taker. The first thing is that books give you a lot of information. That's the first one, right? Books, they give you a lot of information. So the problem is that because there's a lot of information, if you didn't go through the right type of program that really prepared you, you're not going to know what information is more significant than others. Nothing is going to really be highlighted to you because you're just trying to consume everything in the book. So that's the problem. And then in addition to that, you may not necessarily connect it the way you're supposed to connect it. See, depending on the education that you went through, depending on the background of nursing that you went through, if you don't already have the right type of perspective or the right type of mindset to how to perceive the content, then it doesn't matter how many times you read the books, it's not going to be effective for you because it gives you a lot of information, but it doesn't necessarily tell you what is more highlighted, everything. In the books, everything is important, right? All the information is important, but it doesn't necessarily tell you, okay, how does this connect to A, to B, to C, to D? That's one of the issues that I have. And I see for a lot of people, especially people who are even international students who have studied with a lot of books. And the biggest thing that they told me is, I can't remember what I'm studying. Right? Is that you? Is that would you say that's you? Like, you go through the books, you've been studying from the books, and you don't remember what you reviewed. Like you even spent hours all week. This is what I hear so many times. Oh my gosh, Nurse Choma, I was on the phone, I was like studying all week for hours, and it's like I don't remember what I studied. Right? I don't even remember what I studied. And it happens for a lot of people. I'm gonna address your questions then. And it happens for a lot of people. So books is not, here's the thing. This is what books do. Books give you recognition. Books, it helps you, like if you don't have the right foundation, it gives you information, but not necessarily the revelation that you need in order to apply it to the NCLEX. That's the difference. And that's why it's not necessarily effective for everybody. Okay? It's not necessarily effective for everybody. So that's the first one, okay? Is that studying with books is not always necessarily effective. Number 2, and this is going to help a lot of you who are currently in nursing school right now. Currently in nursing school right now. You need to hear this as well. Or if you just graduated. Nursing school questions are the same as NCLEX questions, right? Nursing school questions, and put that also in the chat box too. Nursing, that's the second one. That's the second myth that a lot of people believe, but it's not necessarily true. Is that nursing school questions is the same as NCLEX questions. That's not true. That's not true at all. A lot of nursing programs, I'm not saying every single one, don't really prepare you for nursing school questions, NCLEX questions versus nursing school questions. I'm gonna show you the difference between the two as well. A lot of people are underprepared. Here's what I hear a lot. Oh yeah, I went through my nursing program. It was good. I finished, graduated, and you know what? I didn't really study for it. The NCLEX exam, I just read a little bit and then took my NCLEX, and I still can't pass. And it's 10 years later. I graduated from nursing school, I finished and everything, and, then I had some things going on in my life, and, but I was a cum laude, I got cum laude and everything, in my class. I was valedictorian, because you're relying on your book smarts, right? You're relying on what you intellectually know, right? I did all that, and I can't pass my exam, and it's been 5 times, and I can't pass it still. That's what I hear a lot. I mean, I'm not saying a couple people. I'm talking about by the hundreds. Because people literally underestimate the nursing school questions versus NCLEX questions. So let me share with you the difference. Okay? I'm going to share with you the difference. Nursing school questions will test your understanding. But NCLEX questions will test your critical thinking. Well, you want to write that down. The first one is that nursing school questions will test your understanding, right? But NCLEX questions will test your critical thinking. Here's another thing. Nursing school questions can be mastered with memorization, but NCLEX questions can be mastered with application. Let me say that one more time, and then I'm going to elaborate. Nursing school questions, they're mastered, meaning that you can accomplish them with just memorizing everything. That's why people say that, oh, I went to nursing school, it's like literally we just memorize, test it, memorize, test it, because you're just regurgitating what you memorized. That's why you were able to do the questions, do the exams, do the midterms, do the finals, and then finish, right? So you excelled at it because you were really, really good at memorizing. Okay? But NCLEX, though, especially the RN exam, is not the same. It's not the same. Memorization isn't enough. It's now about your ability to take what you know and actually apply it. It's totally different. This is why some people do great in lecture, but terrible in clinicals. Right? Some people, they do really, really good in the lecture part of nursing school. They're valedictorian, they're really book smart, but they're not so good in clinicals though. Right? Because you know why? Clinicals is the application. That's the difference. So application is not something that is application requires a lot more processing, not just memorizing. Okay? And one thing I know that also that's been happening for a lot of people, once again, a lot of people, is I've heard, and I'll talk about this on another time, is the HESI exam, right? The HESI exam. And so I know for what people are doing, what nursing schools are doing, nursing programs are doing, is that, let's say, for example, the NCLEX, they notice that their NCLEX passing rate isn't high for the, the nursing program. And let me tell you right now, if you are finding this helpful, if you think this is enlightening, please go ahead and share this video right now. If you think this is really good information, please share so that way someone else can reach this as well. So this is what I've found about a lot of about the HESI exam. So for nursing schools or nursing programs, what they're doing is that if they notice that their NCLEX passing rate is not high, so that the boards of nursing doesn't shut them down, they will implement the HESI exam. And they'll make the HESI exam a requirement for nursing students to pass before they can even graduate them, which is completely unfair. I mean, I think you should still graduate them, because then that's a delay on time. But I mean, like I said, I'll talk about that another time. So then they're making people take the HESI exam first. You got to pass that, then you take the NCLEX exam, and if you struggle with the HESI exam, there's different stories about which one is harder or the other. But that's one of the things, because you know why? Because what they taught in the nursing program was not adequate. It wasn't adequate or sufficient to really prepare you for the NCLEX. So now they're putting in this NCLEX exam. It's like, hey, we didn't really prepare you very well. So here's a HESI, and we're going to make it so you have to pass this, even if you take it 500 times, and then now take the NCLEX. Right? Totally unfair. Completely unfair. So, like I said, I'll talk about that on another time. Okay. All right. The next thing, number 3, the third myth. Okay. The third myth that's not true. Okay. Is just do questions with great rationales. Right. How many of you guys probably doing that right now? Is that you? Just raise your hand. Just be honest. Just do a lot of practice questions. And I'm sure you probably have a Q bank, story of your life. You got a Q bank. You're doing maybe 100 questions per day on your day off, or when you get off of work, when you drop off the kids, in between your lunch breaks, you have an app on your phone right now, right? You have an app on your phone right now, and you're doing a bunch of questions on your phone, in between your lunch breaks and everything, right? And that's what it is, right? Just do questions with really good rationales. Here's the thing about this. Here's the problem. This is the reason why. Now, like I said, for some people, it does work, right? There are some people who graduated a couple of years ago and they prepared for the exam with a bunch of questions and they passed. But then there's also a lot of people who do the same thing and they don't pass. So let's talk about why that is. Okay, so remember this, the third myth, write that in the chat box, is to just do questions with great rationale. So I'm going to give you two sides of this. The first one is that questions do not equal foundation. Let me say that one more time. Questions does not equal foundation, meaning that the purpose of questions is to reinforce what you already know. Okay, not to learn it. Let me tell you right now. You shouldn't be doing questions, and you're like, oh, this is new. Oh, this is new. Oh, I didn't know this. That is a bad sign. That's not good. It shouldn't be like you're doing all these questions, and as you're doing the questions, like, oh, I didn't know this. Oh, okay. Oh, that's true. Oh, wow. No, and your percentages are low. That's a really poor sign. Even if it is with great rationales. Let me tell you the reason why. The rationales are good. Yeah, absolutely. But the problem though is that the rationales are still, at the end of the day, it's only giving you one side of the picture. It's only giving you one piece of the picture. And you're thinking, here's the problem. You're thinking that's the whole picture because you have a good rationale. That's it right there. You're thinking you have the whole picture because you have a great rationale. When it's not true. It's not true. Let me tell you, I've talked to people. Literally, I remember there was one person, this is what she did. For literally 3 months. It was like 3 months, maybe even longer. And she did a bunch of practice questions. She did like almost at least 1,000 within those 3 months. And what she did, she took the rationales and she just typed them. Every rationale, she typed them on a Word document, you know, everything she didn't know. And literally what she would do is like, okay, she would do the questions. Then she would look at if she got it wrong, she would look at the rationale, and then she would look up what she didn't know, right? Which is what a lot of people do, right? So, and so that's what she just did over and over again, right? And she was really focused on the rationales for like a whole 3 months or more, right? And she still didn't pass. And she had taken it already, I think like twice, and she still didn't pass her exam. The reason why is because then when it comes to, remember what I said earlier? With the NCLEX exam, it's not about memorization, right? It's about application. So if you don't already have the right mindset, the right processing, the right understanding, all you're really doing is really memorizing the rationales. And then what you're anticipating or what you're hoping is that when you take the NCLEX exam, what you memorize is going to look exactly like on the test, which is not the way the NCLEX exam works, especially the RN exam. You might be able to get away with that with the NCLEX PN exam, but definitely not with the RN exam, right? So like I said, for questions, it can work for some people. The reason why is because they have a foundation already. Because questions are not, it's not to give you foundation. It's to reinforce what you already know. So if you have a low foundation or poor foundation, then questions is just, it's just going to keep you at break even. It's going to keep you just at the even. It's not going to go higher. So these are the myths. This is what I've seen over and over and over again. So it does require you to fill in with some content knowledge and get the full picture rather than just a part of it. Okay? Rather than just a part of it. You need the full picture. If you get just a piece of it, because the exam is going to test you. Because this is one thing I heard that somebody told me recently. They said that they took their NCLEX exam, you know, and they had taken it before, and they studied the information, but then when they studied the test, it's like what they studied wasn't on the exam. That's what they said. Like they studied the content, but then the way that the questions were worded wasn't what they studied about that. Like, for example, they studied about diabetes mellitus. I'm just giving an example. They studied about diabetes, and they learned what they need to know about diabetes, but then when they took the NCLEX, there was different information about diabetes that they had never learned before. See what I mean? That's why you need the whole picture. That's why it's not always effective to learn with rationales. Okay? So, I hope that you found this really enlightening. and eye-opening. Tell me right now if you found this eye-opening, if you thought this was interesting, if you thought this was insightful, if you learned something that you didn't learn before. I want to hear right now. Let me know in the chat box. So if you just came on, you definitely want to watch this from the beginning, okay, because we touched on some really good points. And the 3 myths, the first one was studying with books is effective. That's the first one. The second one is nursing school questions are not the same or are the same as NCLEX questions, right? And then the third one is just do questions with great rationales. Okay, so you definitely want to listen to those things at the beginning. And somebody asked a question about how is SATA marked. Well, here's what I'll say: SATA questions or select applied questions, they are based on they are weighed more on the NCLEX. That's one thing I do know. They do have a greater weight on the NCLEX, meaning that some questions are worth more points than others. Okay, and SATA is one of them, right? SATA, priority questions, they're more weighted. So that's why it's important for you to get strong with that. Okay? All right. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Like I said, if you thought this was good, you better share this video, okay? You better share this people. There's probably a lot of people, I know a lot of people are very confused, lacking a lot of clarity when it comes to NCLEX exam. And then another thing as well too, if you're in a position where you're like, okay, you know what? I need more help to pass my exam, and I need to pass by the end of this month, or I need to pass by, November, or before this year is even over. I know a lot of people are doing that. Most people need to take their exam or want to pass before the year runs out. I am having as well a 6-week mastermind program. You can inbox me on the page. Go to messages and just inbox me from that way. So I am having a 6-week mastermind program, a boot camp program that I'm going to be having starting the end of this month. Okay, it's going to be October 26th to November 30th. Okay, October 26th to November 30th. It's going to be 6 weeks. It's going to be a very intense program. We're going to go through everything, but it's going to be laid out, structured. You're going to get a study plan. You're going to get content videos. You'll receive over 21 hours of content videos, teachings, and trainings broken down by the categories. You're going to get practice questions. So you'll get 4 comprehensive exams, also weekly quizzes that will be required. And I do review everybody's quizzes and exam scores as well. Okay, also you'll have private access to me, so that anytime you have a question about anything, you just can contact me and I'll tell you how you're doing or give you feedback. And then we meet live. We have live sessions together, so instead of just the way it is right now, it will be live, and instead of seeing my face, you're gonna see a presentation. Okay, you're gonna see a live presentation, and we're gonna go into it. I'm gonna go over the content. I'm gonna do questions with you. It's gonna be very, very interactive, extremely interactive as well. So it's an amazing program. And then we also have a private Facebook group as well, So this is a group that I engage with more, and I put questions on there, and then you can also connect with the other individuals in the program with you. So this is going to be my last 6-week program for this year. Okay, after this year, I'm not doing another one until January. So if you feel like if you want more help, and if you're in a position where you just really want someone to teach you and train you, and you don't want to do it by yourself, because I give great information, and so that's why I do these videos for free. But if you want more help and you are taking your exam within the next 3 months, then I can help you. And my program is starting October 26th to November 30th. But the sooner you sign up, the better, though, because there's a lot of studying I'm going to have you to do. Okay, like I said, it's an intense program. And we have really, really great success stories. So if you're interested in that, you can either inbox me, or you can go to choosingnursing.net/mastermind-program for more information. choosingnursing.net/mastermind, one word, -program for more information. Then also, if you're in a position where you're saying, you know what, I can't wait that long, I need like I need help right now, like I need help right now, I can't wait till the end of November, or my ATT is expiring sooner, then the other option is that you can join my home study program. Home study program is not, it's not going to involve any of my individual one-on-one help, you know, like the mastermind and everything. But the home study program, though, it is a really great self-sufficient program. You know, if you're somebody where you feel like you can learn on your own without, you know, somebody always asking questions, then the program might be a deal for you, you know. And I've had people finish that program within 4 to 5 weeks and then pass. I had one lady, she took her exam, I want to say it was 5 times, and she graduated years ago. She did the home study program and she passed on the 6th time in 5 weeks. Another lady who went through, she graduated also about 2014, and she failed her exam 2 times and she passed after the home study program, and she did it in only 5 weeks as well. So the home study program is going to be based on your time schedule, but it does come with a study plan as well. So and to learn more about that, go to choosenursing.net/solidstepsrn fast action, meaning that link is fast action. So there's a discounted price that you'll see on that link, and it won't last forever. Okay, so thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Like I said, if you want more information, you can inbox me, or you can go to the links to sign up as well. And then also, I will be back on tomorrow. Okay, I'll be back on tomorrow, and I'll be back on at, let's see, the time I'm coming back on. 1 second. Okay, it's going to be at 6 p.m. Eastern time. That's the time I'm going to be coming on. Okay, 6 p.m. Eastern time. And I'm going to talk about, I'm going to talk about how to correctly read books about the NCLEX. Okay, I'm going to show you guys how to read NCLEX books. Okay, because some of you need to know how to read it correctly as well. So, all right, you guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for the hearts and the likes. And I'll talk with you again very soon. All right, bye-bye.